For the centering words this morning, I would like to share a poem from the Navajo Indians of North America. Beauty is before me, and beauty behind me. Above me and below me hovers the beautiful. I am surrounded by it. I am immersed in it. In my youth, I am aware of it. And in old age, I shall walk quietly the beautiful trail. In beauty, it is begun. In beauty, it is ended.
This community of care is created through our work and time together, our commitment to one another. This is our covenant, to walk together in loving fellowship, to share our hopes and values. As we pass these baskets, we thank you for your generous gifts, which support the work of this religious community and Unitarian Universalism in the world at large. As a reflection of our values, we are pleased to participate in the Change for Change program. The coins you place in the basket today will support the work of nonprofits in and around the Grand Valley. With gratitude, we will now receive today's offering. This congregation is a community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to its life, we affirm our lives within it. Please stand as you are willing and able for hymn number 203 in the Gray Book, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky.
Verses 1 through 3.
Voices high, hallelujah.
Our talk this morning will be given by the Green Team. They have been meeting all year long, not to form this sermon, but have been meeting, and they decided to do the service for Earth Day, so we welcome the Green Team up.
Good morning again. My name is Richard Highland, and I'm a member of the Green Team of this congregation. 20 years after the first Earth Day in 1970, an Earth Day Interfaith Covenant was created by EcoSpirit New England and the New England Earth Day Interfaith Committee. It was used in interfaith celebrations in Boston and throughout New England for Earth Day 1990. It was signed by members of Baha'i, Buddhist, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Native American, pagan, Sufi, and Unitarian Universalist congregations from all over New England. The covenant is a declaration of earth-centered spirituality, which is a belief in the sacredness of nature, earth, and universe. It is based on the fact that we as humans are not separate from or above nature. We are part of it. We are born from nature and do not own it exclusively for our own ends and purposes. We on the Green Team found the covenant to be especially meaningful now, 33 years later, as all of us face the consequences of delayed action and promises not kept to protect the natural world around us. There are 8 parts or statements in the covenant which we've used to structure this service. You can find them on the insert in your order of service. Please take it home and read them over. For now, I and my fellow Green Team members invite you to join us in prayerful contemplation as we recite the first 3 parts of the Earth Day Interfaith Covenant, and then share our own understanding of earth-centered spirituality individually in our own ways. As we do this, we will share slides of nature taken by team members, which we invite you to ponder. The covenant. This is the covenant that we have made, that you are witnessing with us. We, representing many faith and spiritual communities, acknowledge our shared love for the earth and recognize the sanctity of our living planet. We, who did not weave the web of life, but who live in it, recognize that we share in the wholeness and in the unfolding evolution of the world. We recognize that whatsoever we do to the web, we do to ourselves and to our posterity. We, sisters and brothers in the community of all beings, recognize that we must act with love and responsibility, not just for ourselves. So end the first 3 parts of the Earth Day Interfaith Covenant. At this time, I'd like to introduce my fellow Green Team member, Ann Barrett, who will describe our team mission and share her own understanding of earth-centered spirituality. She will be followed by other Green Team members who will share theirs in turn.
Thank you, Richard. Now, let's see if I can get everything going. Let's see. Looks like I did.
Okay.
I'm going to go back.
Oh. Hell? I'm not sure what happened here. Oh, okay. Okay. So. Somehow between.
It was all working on our end on the Zoom end.
Okay, so
Let me stop share.
stop sharing. Okay, this should be
Okay,
it.
no, hit share.
Share.
Okay.
And then I
just need to stop the slideshow.
Uh,
Let's see, how can I get that out of the way?
Down here.
maybe?
Okay,
Slideshow.
here we go. Looks pretty good. Okay.
We are born from nature, but we do not exclusively own it for our own needs and purposes. Thank you. Our UUCGV Green Team has a mission to guide ourselves and our congregation and our community to a deeper awareness, understanding, and commitment to preserving and protecting the interdependent web of all existence. We live in a huge universe, and so we need to think of ourselves in that relationship. In the following moments, we invite the congregation to join us in prayerful contemplation as members of our team share their own understanding of earth-centered spirituality, along with photos of nature, many of which were taken by our members. This is the view from my home. I live by the ocean. And I came to an earth-centered spirituality slowly, starting as a young child, trailing my grandma in her garden. On a summer morning, we would examine her vegetable plants, analyzing their health, checking under the leaves for insects that might be trouble. She taught us how to tell if a vegetable was thriving or was ripe enough to pick. As we wandered, I would learn from her, step by step, about the miraculous way seeds grow into plants that give us tasty tomatoes for lunch. From that time on, I've had a tendency to view everything through that lens. I found my joy in my relationship to nature. In my work, okay. I'll smile while we're fixing the tech. You are muted. Okay. So I had a tendency to view everything through that lens. I found my joy in my relationship to nature. I spent my life learning about plants, horticulture, and landscape architecture. In my work, I tried to create a partnership with nature to make a more beautiful and climate-appropriate environment in which to live. In my younger days, I worked pretty hard all the time, but when I retired, my real connection to the earth came through my garden. You're seeing pictures of it now. It calms me. I love the smell of the soil and the flowers when they bloom, and I love to see the changes every season brings. I love this so much, I wanted to teach children about this joy in nature. Gardening is such a simple, straightforward way to learn about life on Earth. Some of the kids in our summer gardening club had never really had much experience of plants or nature beyond screen time on TV. When we gave them the experience of gardening, they had a great time digging in the dirt. But also, we planted seeds, cared for each type of plant, and watched them grow. We started each day with weeding. Can hardly believe that, but they loved it. We learned which bugs were helpful, like the bees, which helped the plants reproduce, and which were harmful. We taught them about nutrition. Some of them who only knew vegetables through frozen pizza tasted real garden vegetables for the first time. And since they were the ones who grew the vegetables, they gulped them right down. One day, I felt like we had really gotten our idea across. I overheard one of our students telling an adult all about squash bugs that were sucking the life out of the pumpkins. She told him about the different stages of squash bugs' life. Squash bugs do have different stages, but it was best to kill them as long as you did it quickly so it didn't hurt. In my mind, that was a step toward accepting life as a whole. Are the pictures changing? Okay. I think something happened, Wendy. I don't think it. So, I don't know. I'm not sure how to get it to go again. So I'm going to try to escape. Do we have something called resume or something?
Well, you're sharing right now. So we're gonna,
Stop share.
and then you wanna,
Share screen again.
we're taking an intermission.
For
Go into-
technical difficulties.
Go into your PowerPoint.
Okay. Share screen.
On Thursday, the microphones didn't work.
Okay. So the video thumbnails are minimized. Okay. Do we, okay. Your screen sharing.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do your PowerPoint.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to stop share.
Maybe you can manually.
And, let's see, I don't know how to get out of this.
Maybe
Can I decrease it? Okay. And do that.
Here's my suggestion,
Okay.
is that that's a beautiful
I
picture.
can get
Maybe
us-
just let the people speak.
There we
and
go.
can-
So, okay. So now I go back to screen share. Something we did. Share. Okay, hopefully this goes along. Okay, they can do that. Okay. Okay, back to my talk. I'm still not getting, I wonder if I have to do it by hand.
So, yeah, you might do it by hand, or maybe just let people share their stories. That's a beautiful picture, and we'll get the slideshow out to the congregation next week.
Okay. Is there anything to do that? No.
Time to experience and spend time, contemplative time in nature. It's a reminder to me again to open my senses to the natural world around. With some words from Terry Tempest Williams, inhale, exhale. Reclaim the simple ecstasy of breathing. Inhale, exhale. This is the dream time of the desert, the beginning of poetry. The animals know. It's audible. Listen. Below us, above us, inside us. Come. This is all there is.
When I was young, I spent my summers in the high Sierras, hiking granite trails, camping in pine and sequoia forests, and fishing in emerald green lakes. I learned to pack light, leave no trace, and move silently through the trees. I learned to listen to the sounds of the forest and the calls of the birds, and to wonder what they were saying. Together with my comrades, we ate what we caught and caught only what we needed. In this, we acted much like the creatures we stalked did, and their prey did as well. In this rough reciprocity, I began to understand that I and all living things depended on each other to survive in the wilderness. None of us could do it alone. Gathered around the campfire at night, I heard the same themes in the magic of storytelling as the sparks leaped toward the stars overhead, and we all gathered close to learn about other people living in other times on this land, long before us. In those stories and on the trail the next day, I learned how connected I was to those around me, how my safety depended on their safety, how together we might survive what alone we never could. And in times apart, I found myself savoring the silence, feeling more deeply how everything around me seemed to fit together naturally and completely. There was a spirit within nature, and it was sacred. The sequoias were my cathedral, and I was at peace.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Headland, and my piece is from the Ute tribe. I felt it was fitting as the lovely valleys and beautiful mountains we now inhabit and enjoy were once their homeland, where they thrived in the abundance of the land and waters, felt the joys of birth and the grief of loss. They looked to nature for their lessons. This piece is entitled, Earth Teach Me. Earth teach me stillness, as the grasses are stilled with light. Earth teach me suffering, as old stones suffer with memory. Earth teach me caring, as parents who secure their young. Earth teach me courage, as the tree which stands all alone. Earth teach me limitation, as the ant which crawls on the ground. Earth teach me freedom, as the eagle which soars in the sky. Earth teach me resignation, as the leaves which die in the fall. Earth, teach me regeneration as the seed which rises in the spring. Earth, teach me to forget myself as melted snow forgets its life. Earth, teach me to remember kindness as dry fields weep with rain.
My name's Elizabeth. When I was asked to reflect about how I practice ecology as spirituality, my first reaction was to think that ecology is not a part of my spirituality. But then I remembered 3 years ago when I was going through a very difficult time, and one of my spiritual mentors advised me to spend an hour every day walking outdoors in nature. I did not manage to follow her advice to a T, but I did try to get outdoors on walks most days. And it is amazing how being outdoors under the big sky, noticing the clouds and birds, the plants and water, can bring my personal problems into perspective and fill me with gratitude. One of my favorite places to walk is Matchett Park, and when I am in the middle of that park, I feel like I am being hugged by the fields around me and the sky above me. But the difficult thing is that the more that I open myself to the blessings of nature, the more I open myself to grief at the wounding of nature. For me, ecology as spirituality involves opening myself to the blessings and the grief, feeling them fully, and allowing these emotions to be transformed into energy to help our world.
I don't really need the platform here. Can everybody hear me all right? My name is Joel. I think my experience with eco-spirituality is actually represented in a rather conflicted way today. You see, I contributed some of these scenic photographic images you are seeing today. However, almost all of these were shot by a totally manual operation of a 35 millimeter film camera, and over 30 years ago. So you might ask, well, why no recently shot photos? As any of you who have done totally manually exposed camera work, it's a rather technical process. You're dealing with the f-stop and the shutter speed, the filters, the film type, and most importantly, all the variables in the actual light striking your subjects. Several decades ago, I realized that being so absorbed with the technical camera operation that I was too removed from the nature scene that actually surrounded me. While I was capturing the beauty of nature, I wasn't really experiencing, much less contemplating about what I was observing. So starting many years ago, when I took trips into scenic areas, I started leaving my camera at home. I knew it was going to be disappointing that I wouldn't have photos of my excursion, but then when being in these scenic areas, I really began to see some connections. with the environment. From those connections came emotions. It's probably similar to a pianist who can see and play all the notes in a piece of sheet music, but who once understands what the composer was saying and plays with such emotion that the tears actually flow at the end of the piece. So my words today to you are to encourage you not just to observe, but experience and reach for that emotion that nature offers. When you can do that, you will know eco-spirituality. And by the way, I think it is possible to do the photography shot and find the spirituality. You just have to allocate a whole lot more time. You want to do the last covenant? Our green team decided that we'd sort of end this service by focusing on the last covenant of the interfaith covenants in your bulletin there. I'll just read that for now. We, people of faith in the earth, leave as the symbol of our covenant the whole of the planet Earth. When you experience the fullness of the earth, when you experience the plants and animals, rocks and soils, winds and rains, all the natural cycles, and the elements of the earth, air, fire, and water, when you experience all of these holy things, know that we may have pledged in sacred trust to love and care for all that you have witnessed.
Be sure to stop the screen share. Stop the screen share.
So. I think exit. No, okay. On the other side of your handout, you have a little graphic. Can you hear me? Sometimes it's hard to know how you can help the earth. It just seems like too big of a task. But just remember, you're one person or one family in a whole world full of people. You can do something to help, but it has to be within your reach. Everyone has something they enjoy. Everyone has something they know they're skilled in. And many things need doing on Earth to keep the climate from changing so much that the Earth will have trouble sustaining life as we know it. When you combine those thoughts, your joy, what you're good at, and what needs doing, I think you'll come up in your mind with something that you can do to help. And we invite you today to do that once you get home. Just think about it. Emphasis on that. Okay. So, we will sing number 1073, The Earth is Our Mother, as our closing hymn.
We will do all 6 verses.
We must take care of her.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.